So you don't want to be an who was an anti-fascist? I'm anti-fascist. Who's for Hitler? I mean, who was, you know,
right.
and it's like,
who isn't?
yeah.
Censorship. If you do speak out of line, if you dare to not be one part of the one-party system, you're out, and you're out forever. So,
ever wonder why your favorite comedians seem to be walking on eggshells these days? Rob Schneider's got the answer, and it's not pretty. From SNL to stand-up, Rob's seen it all. Now he's pulling back the curtain on the woke mob that's trying to kill comedy. And guess what? He's not laughing. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Rob Schneider's had it up to here with Hollywood's BS. The guy's not pulling any punches anymore.
I bring up things like, people don't know what a woman is, and then you get to a joke. I'm not talking about any issues. It's using those issues to get to something funny.
I felt was the attack on free speech, and I also wanted to make fun of people. And
he's sick of walking on eggshells just to make some overly sensitive types feel better about themselves. Remember when comedians could actually, tell jokes? Rob does, and he's pissed about how things have changed. The hypocrisy's driving him nuts. You've got these people preaching tolerance left and right, but the second someone disagrees with them, bam, they're trying to shut them down. How's that for irony? Rob's calling it like he sees it, and he's not buying this whole protect everyone's feelings act. He thinks it's just a way for some folks to feel all high and mighty, bossing everyone else around. And get this, Rob says a bunch of his Hollywood buddies secretly agree with him. They're just too chicken to speak up. Talk about a bunch of two-faced phonies. It's like they're all playing some messed up game of pretend, and Rob's the only one with the guts to say the emperor's got no clothes. So what made Rob finally snap and go all out against woke Hollywood? It wasn't just one big thing.
It's important to have free speech and to bring people to a sense of calm.
Censorship. If you do speak out of line, if you dare to not be one part of the one-party system, you're out, and you're out forever. So,
nah, it was more like death by 1,000 paper cuts. Every time another comedian got canceled for a joke. Every time a script got sanitized to hell and back. Every time some poor sap had to make a fake apology for hurting someone's precious feelings. It all added up, and Rob just couldn't take it anymore. But here's the thing, Rob's not just sitting around complaining, he's on a mission to bring back real, unfiltered comedy. No more tiptoeing around touchy subjects. No more sanitizing jokes until they're about as funny as a wet sock. He wants comedy that actually makes people laugh, not just politely nod and pretend they're not offended. And the best part? Rob's not alone in this fight. He's rallying other comedians to join his cause. It's like a comedy rebellion brewing right under Hollywood's nose.
The SNL legend tackling the subjects that most comedians wouldn't dare go near. I never did that. But Rob's special, Woke Up, I'm so sorry, is streaming right now on...
These guys are tired of being told what they can and can't joke about. They're sick of having to second guess every punchline, and they're ready to take back the stage. So you'd think Rob speaking his mind would be no big deal, right? Wrong. The woke brigade is losing their minds over this. It's like Rob kicked a hornet's nest, and now the angry buzzers are out for blood. Social media is blowing up with people calling Rob all sorts of names. Apparently not wanting to censor yourself makes you a terrible person these days. It's wild, man. You've got folks acting like Rob's committed some kind of crime just for telling a few jokes. Like, chill out, people. It's comedy, not a war crime.
It's not easy being a liberal. It's not. It's sad.
You just don't want to be involved in anything, or if it goes bad, you're like, what was he thinking? I don't do paraglide, I don't do any of that.
And get this, some people are trying to dig up old jokes to use against him. Come on, are we really gonna judge someone's entire career on a few out-of-context punchlines? That's just sad. It's like they can't handle Rob in the present, so they gotta go digging through the past to find something to be mad about. But here's the kicker, Rob's getting heat from both sides now. Even some Republicans got their panties in a twist over his jokes at some some fancy dinner. Can't please everyone, I guess. At this Republican Senate gala, Rob's set got cut short after just 10 minutes. Why? Because people were complaining about his off-color jokes. Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith even walked out, calling his performance gross and vulgar. Talk about a tough crowd, but here's where it gets interesting. The more they try to shut Rob up, the louder he gets. It's like throwing gasoline on a fire. After that gala mess, Rob came out swinging. He said, "I'm not changing my material or apologizing for my jokes to anybody." That's some serious balls right there. He even called out the people saying he got kicked off stage, saying he did a full 50-minute set.
So this is a funny show.
I don't think we get through all of this woke culture stuff without humor. I think we have to have it in order to take the sting out of it.
It has to be. It has to be close to collapse, as my good friend James Lindsay said. It's about 12, 18 months before it collapses.
Rob's not backing down. He's doubling down. Every attack just gives him more material to work with. And you know what? People are starting to listen. Rob's fan base is growing. Turns out a lot of folks are tired of all this PC nonsense too. Rob's been sharing stuff on social media that challenges all those woke narratives. One of his posts about cultural appropriation got almost 16 million views. That's crazy, man. People are hungry for someone to call out all this BS. It's not just about comedy anymore. Rob's turned this into a full-on battle for free speech. He's like David taking on the Goliath of woke culture, and sure, he's getting a lot of heat for it. The liberal media is having a field day with his comments about gender identity and stuff, but Rob's not backing down. He's standing his ground, and people are noticing. This whole thing with Rob, it's part of something bigger.
Part of your whole attack against wokeness, it seems to me, comedians like you, our guy Shane Gillis, you guys are attacking wokeness.
But I do think the left it's coming from a place of, it's an intolerance, but it's dressed up as manners.
Consequences of your actions and
Well,
of your words.
there should be no governmental
Right.
repercussions for your free speech.
Comedians who dare to challenge woke culture are getting hammered left and right. People try to cancel them, boycott their work, all that jazz. It's like there's a war on comedy, and Rob's on the front lines, but he's not alone. More and more people are getting sick of all this sensitivity nonsense. They want their comedy raw and real, not sanitized and safe. And Rob, he's giving it to them, consequences be damned. So here's the deal with Rob Schneider. He's not just cracking jokes anymore. The guy's leading a full-on comedy revolution against the woke mob. And you know what? He thinks this whole PC craze in comedy is on its last legs. Rob's saying it could all come crashing down in the next year or two. Why? Because people are getting sick of all these limits on what you can say.
If you step outside of that, then you're a heretic and you're outside the system. So you don't want to be who is an anti-fascist? I'm anti-fascist. Who's for Hitler? I mean, who's, you know, and it's like,
Who isn't?
yeah.
Now, whether you're Team Rob or not, you gotta give the man credit. He's putting his whole career on the line for what he believes in. That takes some serious guts. Most people in Hollywood would rather keep their mouths shut and play it safe. Not Rob. He's out there swinging. But here's the million-dollar question. Is this really the beginning of the end for woke culture and comedy? Or is Rob just digging himself into a deeper hole? I mean, people are starting to listen to him. More and more folks are showing up at comedy clubs, hungry for some real, unfiltered laughs. They're tired of all this politically correct BS. But the woke crowd, they're not going down without a fight. Only time will tell who comes out on top in this comedy showdown.